Publican. We're missing Grant.
Oh, there it is.
My hands are getting cold.
Well,
Feels good.
Go hang out in the county building.
Is it ice cold?
Oh, so cold. And has been for about a month. They can't seem to do anything about it, so the staff just walks around in coats.
I see the clock 7:30. We'll call the meeting to order for the Finney County Economic Development for the month of December. Whereas we already had roll call last evening, we're good to go. Thanks everybody for being here, and we'll proceed on with our agenda. Would ask that everybody take a look at our consent agenda and see if there's anything we need to make amendments to, have question of, before we approve this consent agenda. We'll assume where we had a limited people aboard last week or last month that our minutes are good to go.
Just one question that I have is Stewart vice chairman?
No, he's treasurer.
It listed as vice chairman on
Probably got an increase in pay too.
It doubled.
I'm sorry, I'm not seeing, tell me where that's at.
On the first page of the minutes, meeting call to order.
Yeah, I saw that too. It says call to order by vice chair.
Oh, there we
We'll
go.
call that a friendly amendment to the minute.
I was like, wait, if he is.
Shouldn't these be different? What's happening? Sorry.
So I would make a motion to approve that correction.
Good.
Second.
Been moved and second. We approve the consent agenda with the friendly amendment. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. So with this being our last monthly meeting for the calendar year of 2023, but we're glad everybody's here, even though we got holidays coming right around the corner. But any comments from our public? Please, we're honored to have you here.
So I'm here. Yes, first, I want to thank you all for your service. You know, when you go down to Topeka, it gets a little abstract, but serving at the local level, it's very real. What I've always admired about our county and our communities is that we all work together. I've had a lot of meetings lately, KLA, Farm Bureau, met with the chamber last night. We have the Western Kansas Legislators Caucus tonight, so we're loading up for the session. So please keep your eye on us. It's going to be an election year, so I think a lot of folks will be very generous with taxpayer money in for a tax cut. So the how is, the why is over. We're going to have a tax cut. How we do it, we need your input. So please keep an eye on us and be safe and have great holidays. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Any questions for our elected official here? Appreciate you taking time to be with us when you're back home. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Any other comments? If not, President Duvall, we're ready for your presentation.
All right, good morning.
Morning.
All right, Department of Commerce, we got a response on one of the submittals we had made. Not the response we'd hoped for, but we did get notification that the Finney County sites are no longer in consideration by this company. This was one we had just submitted in November. We're hopeful that since they've changed to a new system, we'll be able to see when our projects are active or inactive with them. And it's a great tool. The Department of Commerce has contracted to use a new software program that allows us to take a more active role in the presentations that we put out for the prospects that they bring to us. So hopefully, going forward, we won't have as many issues where we put in submissions and then never hear anything back. So we'll keep you posted on that. This project 1123, we sent 3 different sites to the client, and they have submitted letters of interest on behalf of their client to the landowners. So they're working through some due diligence on those sites, and we'll see where they land. I think they're likely going to settle on 2 locations. So we'll see how those shake out as they do the due diligence. Prospect 1023, we have met initially with utility providers with this prospect, and then their consultant had a death in the family and kind of slowed everything down. But things are moving forward again with this prospect as well. We've just had some communication this week with them to ensure that we're getting them the information they need. On other projects, the warehouse distribution center that's going into the Western Kansas corridor, they've got steel on the ground out there and some equipment out there, and working through the site plan process now. So hopefully they'll be able to get going. They were hoping to start construction right after the first of the year. So hopefully they get their stuff all submitted so they can do that. Prospect 823-1, and this is a commercial project that is going into a new development area in the community, and we had to do some work with KDOT on securing an entrance and how that entrance is going to look. So we followed up with them just this week and let them know where we're at with those conversations. So again, hopefully they're able to move forward quickly with their project as well. Not a lot of other prospect updates on housing. Jim Randall with Randall Estates did get an amendment to his development agreement that was just approved by the county this Monday, actually, and signed off on. So he's good to go to start construction now. He's had quite a few people reach out to him interested in his lots, so we're hopeful that those move pretty quickly for him. We do have a couple of other developers who are interested in doing some multifamily developments here, so working with them on identifying locations that would work well for apartment complexes. So we'll see how that goes. The 1222 is they're the ones who bought 20 acres out on 156, and they applied for MIH, weren't successful in getting that, but are working with the Kansas Housing Investor Tax Credits and with their investors. So we're hopeful that they'll be able to move pretty quickly after the first of the year as well. We are starting to see our housing developers get a little more enthusiasm as rates are starting to kind of soften a little bit. So we're hopeful, all indicators are that we're going to see that improve. A lot of that depends, I think, on the political climate going into 2024. So fingers crossed that to Representative Clifford's point, folks can work together for the betterment of all of us instead of getting in their corners and staying in their corners, which doesn't seem to do much good for all of us in the middle. So let's hope that things get better as we go into the next year. I think, again, the attitudes are good. Commercial projects and multifamily projects, we're seeing a lot more positivity around those projects. So fingers crossed. Outside of that, I don't think there's anything else that's super important. Sligo Station continues to go forward, working through the state's process with the MIH ARPA, and we have applied for the Kansas Housing Investor Tax Credits for that project as well, and should hear back from KHRC shortly after the first of the year whether we were successful in getting those. I did send out on the agenda, it mentioned that our annual meeting is set for January 18th. That's a Thursday, and it will be at the Community College Endowment Room. And Dave has said he won't be able to be there. Hopefully the rest of you will be able to be there. Yesterday, we did get to attend the groundbreaking on the new fire station. Sorry, the new fire and EMS station out on Jenny Barker. That's very exciting. It's fun to see that coming to fruition. And then the skate park on 8th Street, they did a ribbon cutting yesterday. Mostly it was city employees who were there yesterday, but they are going to do an event when the weather's a little nicer, and then make sure that most of the folks who are using the skate park are younger than we are. Who knew? So hopefully when they do that, they're able to schedule it when some of the young folks in our community that are enjoying that skate park can be there. If you haven't driven by there on a weekend or in the evening, you need to do that. It's very cool to see all of the young people who are getting to enjoy that. So my hips probably wouldn't enjoy riding the skateboard over there, but it's fun to watch the young people do it. So if you get a chance, go by. That's again to Representative Clifford's point, those are the things that we can do when we decide as a community that something's important. And even though not all of us are going to utilize it, it's really nice when we can provide something for our young people and something that keeps them physically active too. So it's very nice.
What are the hours of use?
It's just like all of our parks, they've got a sign posted that they are open certain hours, but we've seen people over there pretty much till the sun goes down. They're enjoying it.
Do the users control the lights?
No, I think they're just set on timers, I think, but I don't know that.
It'd be my guess.
I think.
Otherwise, you have somebody out there 3 in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it might be like these lights, but they don't turn on after a certain time, 9 or so at night. We'll go out there tonight.
Yeah. You want to go out there? Yeah, let's go find out. Yeah, that's when I would want to do it, at 3 in the morning when nobody would see me, for sure. Childcare, the 3rd Street Center is open and does have children enrolled. That's very exciting. The facility is awesome. We'll schedule a time to go over and visit it shortly after the first of the year as a board so that y'all can see that facility as well. And then as I told you in the last meeting with Empirical Foods, we'll be doing a tour there sometime after February. She asked that I contact him in February to set something up for after that. So get excited. We'll have some fun stuff to do right after the first of the year. We did present the statewide early childhood task force that I served on. We submitted the plan to the governor last Monday. It faces probably some pretty big challenges getting through the legislature. There's a lot of push to create a separate cabinet level position that would oversee all early childhood activities across the state. We'll see how much of that survives and what the legislature settles on, but certainly important work. When we look at a lot of the things that folks are upset about with our education, K-12 education, and what folks perceive as poor performance among those students, a lot of that can tie back to the fact that we haven't had good early childhood offerings across the state. So we need to continue to do that work for sure, because those are the folks who will be manning all of the jobs that we have in this community at some point. So we need to do what we can. And that's all I have for you. Happy to answer any questions.
What's going to go in out there at Sherwood Crossing where the ground's all scraped off across from Menards?
A mattress store.
Is that the deal? Okay. Somebody asked me today, and I said,
Yeah, Denver mattress.
it's just the one.
Go ahead.
It's just the one store. It's not the.
Out the furniture row.
They originally were going to go east of Walmart, weren't they?
A long time ago, they were scheduled to go on that wharf ground, yeah. Which we've got some good momentum on that ground going right now too, which is exciting. What's going on Kansas Avenue?
On Kansas Avenue between 4th and 5th.
Yeah. So the last time we met with them, the plan was just a strip center, basically.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, he'd initially had a commercial tenant that was interested in that spot, but the lot is just a little bit irregular, and it was really challenging to make that work for them, so.
Other questions for Lana?
All right, you didn't even
Well, that's
stump
good.
me this morning.
Good to see the Third Street facility finally get opened up,
Yes, it's wonderful.
and look forward to the other new developments, but yeah, hopefully not too many injuries at the skate park.
Well, yeah.
And at night might not be the best time to be there. All right, thank you, Lana. So we're ready now for Mr. Contrell.
Good morning.
Good morning, Steve.
Okay, so this is National Sacagawea Day. And if that don't float your boat, sangria, I know you go for sangria. A lot of sangria. And it's my day, Stephen Day. So none is crying.
Try to be nice to you.
Treat me with respect. Okay. Lana told you the KDOC RFP we submitted on last month, we were pleasantly, but unpleasantly notified that our sites were kicked out by the selection people. We got 2 new ones in December, didn't submit either one. One of them due to utility requirements, they needed more power than the city of Garden City uses annually, and it had to be 100% renewable in 2 years, which is impossible in Garden City. The second one that just came in only needed 3,600 people. So, you know, we talked, you know, 3,500 was our cutoff. So it didn't respond to either of those. But I think you asked last month, Vicki, about how many RFPs we've received from KDOC over time. I can only go back to early 2020 with good records. We've received 31 RFPs in the last 3 years and replied to 17 of them. So a little more than half. We feel that we have sites that meet some criteria. So far, we're waiting on one of them to actually come through. So I think we'll continue fighting our own as we do and are quite successful at it. We submitted a slate of about 4 different sites to a prospect that is wanting to build a heavy equipment maintenance shop. Haven't heard back as to whether they want to schedule visits or anything. Western Kansas Corridor, all the punch list work on Phase 1 infrastructure is completed. We're waiting on county inspection and eventual acceptance of that infrastructure. We met with a broker on a newly available commercial tract, pushed it out to our retail consultant on that very same day, and 2 days later we had received word that he found someone that was interested, and they have submitted a letter of intent. So when we have good things, things move fast. And then we submitted some commercial and residential properties to an out-of-state developer that had been looking for some sites previously. Lana mentioned that it submitted multiple letters of intent for one particular business. At Randall Estates, Wheatland Electric is in and finished. Black Hills and is ready to go. Idea Tech will go shortly thereafter, installing fiber. And then White Camp will get in and get going on road work. At Sligo Station, I worked up some concept floor plans for Building 3, which is a 4-story office building with a little ground floor retail. And had some discussions with potential users for that building. On the MIH ARPA building, the construction manager at risk has been selected by the developer. Things are moving on that project. So, any questions? Then you can pick it.
Sound like you're making progress. That's
We are.
good. Very good.
Well, for at least wait on one chair, whenever that is, I forget, it's the day before Christmas Eve. Remember last year we celebrated. Timing of the calendars, then we got all those other days. Boxing Day is coming, I
Thank you, Steve. Scott, what do we got for communications?
Good morning.
Morning.
The website, greatergardencity.com. Been having a lot of trouble for the last 10 days to 2 weeks. Technical issues that was preventing the site from popping up. And then when I contacted support of the host company, they got it to pop up, but I lost all data and every change on the website since February. So I'm still working on that and trying to figure out what's happening. I can't post, I can't go on the backside and change anything. So it's kind of in limbo right now, but I'm working on it. The worst case scenario is going to be if I have to just rebuild and do a new site with a new .com ending or something. So that's the website. On Facebook, we're still posting to Facebook, and it's still pretty normal numbers. About 1,300 post reach and 1,200 engagements. Engagements were up a little bit the past month. The top posts were the Diversity Breakfast, the Christmas Parade, Main Street Market Hub grand opening, and the College Endowment Association scholarship event. Twitter is also a little foobar right now. It's in the process of changing its analytics formula, and so I'm still trying to figure out what it means, and I'll let you know when I figure it out. Yeah.
When Elon figures out what he's doing with it.
Yeah.
Sound like
So
you're
it's
ready
kind of in
for a-
flux.
Sound like you're ready for a new year.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready for it. So that's what I have. I'll field questions if you have any.
Any computer specialists here want to tell us Scott's assistance? Thank you, Scott, and good luck.
Thanks.
2024 is bound to be better.
So,
All right, Grant, got some new business for us?
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
It's been a bit of a quiet month, but I did get one new client signed up. Mandela Events, still waiting to hear about the sprinkler system with them. And then there was client 11231 service. They've been moved to inactive. We tried going over a new business plan for them, and they did not meet requirements for financing. The new client that I got this month, 12231, is service. So had the initial meeting, and they have an existing business. They're looking to expand, so we'll work on them with seeing where we can put them and how much they want to grow. Current Kansas SBD clients are now at 29, inactive clients 2, and clients that have been awarded financing is 2. And then upcoming meetings or initiatives, February 31st, which is leap year, Network Kansas Youth Entrepreneur Challenge, YEC, yeah, it's a mouthful. That'll be at the Garden City Rec, and I'm working with Downtown Vision to help with that, and we're looking forward.
February 21st.
There's no 31st.
I'll never say that I'm the smartest.
What day is it actually, February 3rd?
It's on leap year. Last day. 29. So. Yeah. Okay.
This is going to be a very bad day.
I know. I'll never live this down. Bring on the jokes. I'm at my best when I'm
Can we pick on you?
Yeah, I'm the first to throw a rock at me.
It's not Grant Day, it's Steve Day.
Yeah, okay. We'll move on from that.
You're off the hook, Steve.
But I'm helping in finding some judges for that. We have one, there's gonna be 9. We have one, I believe, already. So if you have anyone in mind that you think might fit for that. And that event is gonna be high schoolers looking to start up an entrepreneur business. And so it's gonna be judging that type of thing. And then at the end of January, Kansas SBDC has 2 webinars on the same day, January 23rd. It'll be at 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. The link's there to sign up to those. Sales and use tax for retail business, sales and use tax for construction contractors. And that's what I have for you. Yeah, I'll work on my dates.
One other thing that isn't scheduled yet, but that is very important for our business community to know, is starting in 2024, businesses have to submit a report called beneficial ownership reporting, and all businesses will be subject to that requirement. So SBDC is going to be hosting some explanatory webinars and such on that, but if you talk to businesses that have questions about that or concerns, certainly have them call, and we'll be happy to explain the process for doing that.
So it was Grant on your deal there, I guess it's on the 29th of the youth entrepreneurship. Is that being in conjunction with a high school? Is that
Yes, we're working with Ember Dorch,
Okay.
marketing teacher with the high school. Many of her students are going to be ones participating, but anyone within the high school level can participate.
So they're going to make presentations and they'll be evaluated and,
Right, yeah.
okay. So it's a competition type.
Yes, yeah, there's awards. I don't remember all of them, but I believe the first place award is $1,000.
Good, very good. That's good, very good. I know we've, some other meetings I know I attended recent months, but they were talking about, goes back to our schooling system that we've been working on here and trying to connect with the community college and trade schools and so forth. And I'd say hats off to our community because we're ahead of the game and what some of them are starting to think about. So that's very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning, Shannon. Got some numbers for us?
Yeah, I got it, of course. Always have numbers. Been pretty busy. A lot of the stuff that I've been working on this last week we'll see at the annual meeting. Some KDOT stuff, some water stuff, kind of talking about the project with GMB3. Have some good updates and good progress on what the water situation looks like out in our region. So that's all getting ready for the annual meeting. Actually, this will also be part of the annual meeting, my stuff at the annual meeting, but you'll look a little bit here. This came about because the community college was looking to apply for some grants for workforce development. And so they first already insisted that I had this data. And I didn't think I did, and I asked around and asked if I was crazy, and we're pretty sure I didn't. But I'm glad that they thought I already had this data. So it was fun because they had a pretty good idea about what they'd like to see. So what this is looking at what they're trying to see is how many people do we need to have in a construction trade, or should we have a construction trade? And then the question is, well, what do you mean by should? I mean, because what does should mean when we're talking about jobs in a community? So I have two different estimates here. I have a low estimate and a high estimate. A low estimate is if we look at a city like ours, in a region like ours, and similar things like ours, and we look at other communities, how many people are in these different trades? That could be one definition of should, is in other communities, how many people do have these jobs? The other estimation there is high, and what I did there is if we look at communities that we'd like to grow, like we would like to grow, like we need to grow, like we've seen that we should grow, how many, and we look at those communities that are achieving that growth that we're trying to achieve, how many people in these different construction trades should we have? So there's two different definitions of should. Cities like ours, cities that are growing like ours, doesn't necessarily mean the same thing. But anyway, so what we have here for each of these categories, and this is just for the construction part of the jobs in our community. The number there is a minus 23. We'll just take that first one, first line supervisors, construction trades, and extraction workers. And minus 23 is the difference between how many people have that job in Garden City or Finney County and how many people should have that job. So we're short 23 people on the low end or short 270 on the high end. The part that I think the community college was really going for was looking at like the carpenters. So a community our size, we should have about 267 more people, up to 880 more carpenters. So you can go through and see. Some of these, I think one of these we had construction laborers. Actually on the low end, we actually have a couple more, 30 more than we should have for a city our size. But if we're trying to grow like we are, we're still just short 200. So did this, we have this actually for all of the different trades in teachers and any kind of job category that's in the international job category data set. I have the whole thing. The thing that's really neat to me, and I'll go around and everybody can give me high fives later. But remember when we're talking about, when we were looking at how many houses we need to build in Garden City and Finney County? And we're looking over the next 10 years and looking at where we should be in the next 10 years. And we said, well, you know what? We need to be building 4,000 housing units because that's how many jobs that we have either open or going to be open and all that stuff. Then that was looking at job postings and the jobs that we have. This is looking at the people who are employed and how many people we should have employed in a community our size. And I added it all up. If we looked at the job postings and all that, we had 4,019. You look at this, we add it all up, we're short 4,080 jobs of a community we should have. So two completely different measurements, coming from completely different, that had nothing to do with each other. Both of them are saying we're about short 4,000 people here in Finney County. So I know that's not that exciting to you to hit that number coming from two different estimations, but I mean, when you pull up that number, you're like, holy cow, that's pretty neat. Pretty neat. Also, we need a lot of people.
That's just in,
carpenters, please.
but that's just in the construction field.
Yes.
Yeah, and so that 4,000 isn't just construction, but there is a very high concentration of people that we need in that construction field.
And with all the construction, it makes it really hard to have the houses for the rest of them that we need.
So, good deal. I will get into more of this at the annual meeting. This was just like one of those things that was already up. I was working on this, so I could pull it up and bring it to this meeting.
Where did you get this information?
So this is from Bureau of Labor Statistics. I get the base, and so you can look up any, I was going to say any community, but I think you have to have a community of a certain size. Then you can see what jobs all of them have. So we have what we have in Finney County, and then I took other communities that are similar or around her, looked at what they had, then so we see what that difference is to go down into it. So this is all government data kind of stuff. I didn't go talk to 4,000 people.
Low is based on our community or a community of our size?
Yeah, low is what we'd expect. So high is we're trying to grow that 4,000 jobs. We're trying to, or that 4,000 houses and then all that stuff. If we look at other communities that has that sort of growth, that's how many people that they've had in those jobs to achieve that growth. And I will say, so like for first line supervisors, Garden City we had 100. So minus 23 means we should have had 123. Or minus on the high end, 270 means we should have had 370 in that field. We only had 100 in that field in Finney County. So those are the two different scenarios of just a normal community our size versus a community that we're trying to grow at the rate that we're trying to grow it. Is it two? So.
Sounds like I need to go back to work.
It does.
I think it might be good, I talked to Lana about this recently, but it might be good to go ahead and just briefly mention how we actively are pursuing people, like some of the things that we are doing as City County Economic Development.
Oh, right. So Vicki had actually contacted me because I'm sure you all do this too. Your spouses tell you what you should be doing on this Economic Development Board. Her spouse told her. He had heard the news about one of the plants shutting down up around Winfield about, 45 days ago probably was when that report came out. And so Vicki reached out and said, what do we do when we hear about those kinds of closures or job loss, whatever? And so a couple of things. First of all, and that really falls on the federal arm of our workforce office, statewide workforce offices. So for us, that's Kansas Workforce One. You guys have all heard and seen some of the stuff that we do with them. But they have what they call a rapid response team that goes in anytime we have a large employment shift like that. They work with the displaced workers. They're the arm that gets funding to do that. We do, especially like in that situation, it was a manufacturing operation. So we do have the opportunity always to say, okay, we have those kind of jobs here. And so we do market to them. We market to those areas and let them know, hey, if you're not able to find something in your area and you're interested in looking elsewhere, here's our community, here's our relocation guide, that kind of stuff. And the Department of Commerce and Kansas Workforce One do represent the other jobs that are available, within the state of Kansas also. Obviously, the goal is to keep those folks in Kansas, if at all possible. And the goal is to keep them in the community they're in, if possible. We wouldn't be appreciative of other employers coming to our community and trying to scavenge off all of our people in a similar situation. So there's a balance. It's a little bit tricky. We don't want to go in guns blazing and say, well, that's it, come to Garden City. But we also want to know there's opportunities here because, again, the best case scenario is to keep them in Kansas. So that's kind of what happens when we hear of those types of situations. Again, we're mindful of, being a little bit delicate and not stepping on toes, but at the same time making sure that those folks are aware of the other opportunities that exist. And we still need houses. It's a little more challenging to go get those folks when we don't have anywhere for them to live, but.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other reports that need to be brought out at this time before we move into business? It always says here new business and then old business. I've always wondered why you didn't have old business before new business, but it says new business, so is there any new business?
The good news is you guys never leave old business out there, so we just follow the Roberts rules and put it on the agenda, but you guys get your work done hard and fast, so we don't have stuff.
So do we have any old or new business?
No, sir.
All right. Looks like we probably need an executive session, and that here following the meeting.
Yes, that is correct. I should have also mentioned to you, you guys remember we did fund the Southwest Kansas Career Showcase group, Joe Colson and Bob Kreitzer's project that's going. They have, on February 8th, they have one of their healthcare showcases is here in Garden City. And then on March 5th, their public employee session, which will be city and county jobs, community college, pretty much everybody you guys represent and the jobs that are available in those sectors will be represented on that one. And you all had told Bob that you'd like to buy lunch for some of those kids at one of those events. So good news, you get to buy lunch for the March 5th event. So we'll be putting together catering for that for somewhere around 200 kids, hopefully. So
That's good.
yeah, so we'll keep you posted on it and make sure you remember as we get closer to it. You're welcome to go and just kind of see how that event goes. Scott was able to sit in on one of those in Sublette a couple months ago and came back a little amazed at how well Joe relates to those high school kids. It's pretty cool, so.
That's good.
A couple of members of the Village Association Board were there, the last one, and they were really impressed with the level of interest from these kids and the excitement that they saw. So
That's cool.
It's definitely worthwhile.
All those things for the young people is encouraging for the future, so it's all very good. Looks like coming into the new year, we've got a lot of meetings and activities to move forward with. Anything else to come before our meeting here today? Not before we adjourn, we want to be sure to remember our annual meeting coming up here on the 18th of January. And before we entertain a motion for adjournment and moving into executive session, just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Be safe in your travels, keep healthy, and enjoy. Enjoy.
Same to you.
So thank you very much for everybody in attendance, and we'll take our motion for adjournment. Larry's moved.
Second.
Ron second, that we adjourn and move into executive session. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Thank you.